Hello and welcome to our video on the invention of the clock. Have you ever wondered who invented the clock on your wall? Clocks have been around for centuries, and they've played a crucial role in our daily lives. In this video, we'll take a look at the history and evolution of the clock and how it has impacted modern-day timekeeping. The concept of measuring time goes back to ancient civilizations, where sundials were used to track the position of the sun and determine the time of day. However, sundials were limited to tracking daylight hours, and they were not very accurate. The first mechanical clocks were invented in Europe during the 13th century. These clocks used weights and pendulums to keep track of time, and they were much more accurate than sundials. The first mechanical clock was built by a monk named Richard of Wallingford in England in the late 13th century. As time went on, clocks became more complex and sophisticated. In the 16th century, the invention of the mainspring allowed for portable clocks that could be carried around. These clocks were known as pocket watches and became very popular. In the 17th century, Dutch scientist Christiaan Huygens invented the pendulum clock. The invention of the pendulum clock was a significant milestone in the history of timekeeping. The pendulum clock was the first mechanical clock that was accurate enough to measure time to the second, and it quickly became the standard for timekeeping in the 17th century. Huygens was studying the motion of pendulums at the time and realized that the time it took for a pendulum to swing back and forth was constant. He used this property of the pendulum to create an accurate clock. The accuracy of the pendulum clock made it an essential tool for astronomers, navigators, and other professions that required precise timekeeping. The invention of the pendulum clock also led to the standardization of time. Prior to the pendulum clock, different cities and regions kept time differently, often based on local observations of the sun. The accuracy of the pendulum clock allowed for a more standardized system of timekeeping, which became essential as trade and commerce became more global. Today, the pendulum clock is still used in some applications, such as grandfather clocks and other decorative timepieces. However, it has largely been replaced by electronic and atomic clocks, which are even more accurate and precise. Nevertheless, the invention of the pendulum clock remains a significant milestone in the history of timekeeping and technology. In the 19th century, clocks became even more advanced with the invention of the electric clock. This clock used electricity to power the clock mechanism, which allowed for even more precise timekeeping. Today, we have a wide variety of clocks, from wristwatches to atomic clocks that can keep time accurate to within a billionth of a second. The invention of the clock has revolutionized the way we keep track of time. From sundials to atomic clocks, clocks have become an essential part of our daily lives. They allow us to schedule appointments, meet deadlines, and keep track of time accurately. Without the invention of the clock, the world would be a much different place.
We hope you enjoyed this video.
Thank you for watching.